of Panda Training, a Finnish-based company, so half across the world. Really nice to be here. So we are in a bit different place from many companies out here who are focusing more on K-12 or higher education. We are focusing on corporate education. And I believe as many companies out here, we also think that kind of doesn't cut it at the moment. And specifically, it doesn't cut it for one person who is usually in between the two fires in many organizations. Yep, I guess that's the clicker. And that's the HR manager, who is quite often in between the two fires between the management, who has an idea of what should be done, and the employees, who have a different idea of what should be done. And there's quite often a big mismatch in what's going on and how to take decisions. And for the past 100 years, this was relatively fine. And the training has been quite repetitive. You do the same leadership training year after year. Nowadays, people run into problems more and more often. We notice that things don't work the same way. And the reason for that is because the accelerated pace of change is increasing. And we need more and more skill sets in our employees. So as I told, we are from Finland. You might have heard of Nokia and the grand fiasco. So the current CEO of Nokia, Rajeev Suri, he told that our key challenge is that we can't just fire all the employees and hire new ones. And that's true. We are planning on expanding in Holland, and just a week ago I was there and I talked to a bunch of companies in the financial industry. And what they're saying is that, okay, we will fire 10 to 20% of our employees due to process automation, but then the rest should be reskilled. And we need to bring them from place A to place B. But at the current stage, we don't even know what that place A is, and we also don't know what that place B is. So we are focusing on developing the skills of the future in the organizations and bridging the skill gaps where they need to be through learning and development. And we do that in 3 steps. So the first one is capability assessment. We simply help companies to build the survey, which would help them to evaluate what's going on in the company currently. What are the skill gaps? What are the capability gaps? We help them build a survey that they send to employees based on both testing the employees and also just asking for their opinion. On the other hand, we are building an analysis of the supply of the service providers, corporate trainers, consultants, coaches. And those can be both freelancers and training organizations. Combining those two, we're able to provide a close to perfect match in the education space. There are lots of companies out there focusing on e-learning, mobile learning, and other learning tools. But we prefer to look at the big picture. Big picture, big data. It allows us to measure things, see patterns, and do things more effectively. One other thing that we're doing is helping companies to evaluate how successful was the training. How easy was it to work with the person? How was the delivery? And then 6 months from the training, we come in and ask them, were there actually any results? Do you still remember that this happened? And we started a year ago. And currently, we have around 400 service providers on the platform, including both probably around 40 training agencies all around the globe from more than 50 countries, most of them in US, Finland, and Holland, because those are our focus markets. We have 8 pilot customers in Finland, and we're looking to expand in Holland. We've been there, as I told, I've traveled there just last week and have already some soft commitments over there. The financial industry is very interesting for us since they're going through a huge process. The process automation swipes out a lot of jobs and changes the old ones. The market is quite multi-billion-dollar market. So if we look at the training outsourcing per se, so if we look at the consultants, corporate trainers, coaches that are hired, It's roughly around 149 million. Right now, we are focusing more on the skills of the future because companies don't have partners in that space. And in terms of the business model, we are focusing on commission, which is 10% from the matches that we make, on the premium features. And along the road, once we gain the critical mass of the transactions on the platform, we would be able to look at the big data there and monetize that. Because HR is a quite closed industry, and there's a lot of insights in there. Regarding the team, we are 3 founders and 5 employees in development, sales, and marketing. All the founders have backgrounds in training, me including. I worked as a leadership development trainer, head of sales, managed the team of 25 people in Finacta as a director of sales. And in terms of our future steps, so we're looking at the service scope, where we would want to delve deeper into the big data and analytics and machine learning. And for that, we partly need the volume. The strategic positioning, where we want to work with bigger and bigger companies and solve bigger problems, while currently we focus more on the growth companies from 100 to 500 people. And geographic reach, as I told, we're expanding to Holland, for example, and London and US is also on the map. Currently, we're looking for our seed rounds. We are way more modest than the US companies. So we're looking for $300,000 that we are able to double with the Finnish government that already committed to it. And finally, the final thought is that we believe that there is eventuality of such a service. It will happen sooner or later, and we would want it to be us. We will be doing a demo tomorrow around 3 p.m. and there is our website. I would love to talk more. Thank you.